Hello, John. You're cutting it a bit fine, aren't you?
5 minutes yet. Just because you have to get everywhere the day before doesn't mean we're all neurotic.
Meaning?
Yes, well, I haven't got time for it today. I had terrible leg pain this morning, and according to the internet, I might have deep vein thrombosis. Ah! Oh, my arm! Oh, the pain!
Well, after the meeting, go to A&E if you're worried.
Welcome to the 15th AGM of the Stethoscope. It's nice to see you all, especially as we so seldom get together in our jobs here. I know most of you only come to bitch and whinge, and I know Portia and Jocelyn only come to show off their designer clothes, but at least you're here. Now, I ran off copies of last year's AGM minutes on my duplicator last week and posted a copy to each of you.
Why don't you email?
Email? Never!
You use the internet?
Only to look up my symptoms. It has no other discernible use as far as I'm concerned. Now, if these minutes are acceptable, let's get them proposed and seconded. Thank you, Margaret, proposer, and Phil, seconder. Thank you. Apologies for absence have been received from Martin. Matters arising? Good.
Jocelyn has a matter arising.
Angela, do you just do this to annoy me? I know what this is about. This is about the wardrobe allowance for presenters.
Yes, you agreed to look into it, and I have heard nothing back.
I only said I'd look into it to shut you up. Don't you realise I have more to worry about? Like keeping my wife from leaving me and actually staying alive, because no doctor will actually admit I have all these fatal diseases.
And you said I was neurotic.
Returning to your point, Jocelyn, the committee feel that it is not necessary to provide a wardrobe allowance to hospital radio presenters. The key word here is radio. Who sees you?
The staff and patients?
The nurses are too busy and the patients are too poorly to worry about whether or not you're getting Gucci or Caroline Charles.
Just because you're on the radio, it doesn't mean you don't have to make the effort.
I don't make the effort and I'm being headhunted by a commercial station. So what do you make of that then?
Well, you don't need to dress nicely to be a brickie, do you?
Well, at least I go out and do a good day's work, and like you, we ain't all got tycoon husbands to keep us in luxury. Some of us have to work for a living. We ain't all lazy cows, and I know benefit frauders who do more than you on an average day.
You can stop arguing now, please. It's delaying the meeting and I don't like arguments. And now you've disturbed my aura, so just a moment. Calm, calm, calm.
Anyway, to answer your point, Jocelyn, nobody gets a wardrobe allowance. And if you don't like it, you know what you can do.
You're too big for your boots, Mr. Chairman. You should get voted off the island.
Well, you could have put yourself forward for my job before the closing date.
Oh, don't be silly. I can't be bothered with that. I have my sights set on programme controller.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, any sensible matters arising?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
Ted?
Why don't we go on the internet? I raised this last year and I feel I made very good points. If we had a community audience, I wouldn't have to go onto the wards with the sick people and collect requests.
From what I hear on the QT, you hardly ever do. Well, perhaps I should let our programme controller field this one.
Why should I field it?
Because I'm the chairman and I asked you to.
Ted, you made some very good points. We have a lot of listeners in hospital. When they are discharged, they can't listen to us anymore. If we were on the internet, they could. It would also give us a larger audience and more potential admirers for our staff. But it would be a very major investment of time and money, and the level of quality of programme would have to increase further. And we would have to ensure compliance with Ofcom requirements, and it's just all rather too much.
Plus, we are a hospital station, not a community station.
Well, I'm sorry you think like that.
I'd love to be on the internet. My voice around the world.
They can probably hear it around the world already. It's loud enough.
Ouch! Don't forget that with the trust under pressure and the constant threat of closure, without an internet presence to fall back on, we could all lose everything.
Well, yes, but I had a meeting with Sir Colin Willoughby, and he has not indicated that we are under threat at present. Maybe you should keep the internet idea in the pending tray for the time being, eh?
You can't rely on a word he says if he spent less time dressing up as a sheep and doing his job.
He does not dress up as a sheep. How many times, Portia? That was a malicious rumour, that's all. Just a rumour. Clear?
Whatever.
Yeah, well, everyone knows he doesn't dress up as a sheep. It's a gorilla, isn't it?
Charlie?
Oh, you telling me off?
No. Absolutely not.
Calm down, John. You know you have high blood pressure.
You see, even Ted knows I'm ill, and he's not a doctor.
Yes, so there's a chance he might not know what he's talking about either.
Even at A&E, I have to wait my turn. I've flashed my pass more times than I can remember, but I still have to wait my turn.
That's because there are people who are really ill.
Oh, see a therapist.
Just because I'm sensitive to disturbances in my aura and like things to be clean, I'm not neurotic.
Well, you're very edgy all the time.
So would you be if you had the personal life I have.
Your marriage isn't on the line.
No, but my life is still a mess.
And you're jumpy.
I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Angela, your report, please.
As programme controller, I have to say thank you to you for your support. I do have 1 or 2 slightly regrettable incidents to report, but generally things have been excellent. I have 1 complaint from the constituency party member who was in for a minor op and heard Charlie refer to as our MP as knob with knobs on.
But because I bring in 15,000 a year through my sponsorship, the management will do nothing about it.
Yes, I was going to say that, although not quite like that. Also, Jocelyn and Portia had a stand-up bitch fest during the children's ward request programme that Portia crashed. This was the only very serious matter of the last year. Other than that, the programme output was very good, very professional, and I know that we are the number 2 most listened to station in the hospital after Capital. So well done. We have a new presenter being trained up at the moment, Abby. There she is. And I hope to give her own show very soon.
Yeah, and I know what I'll give her.
Yes, thank you, Charlie. What would we do without you?
Put the subs up. A lot.
Here's another good argument for going on the internet.
Oh, let it go.
Oh, that's what his mum used to say, eh, Ted?
Well, with your proficiency using a mouse with your left hand, I should think you'd know all about that.
Well, it's legal.
Anyway, my point is, if we were on the internet, Angela wouldn't have to come into her office at random intervals just to listen to samples of our output. She could put us on her laptop or even listen on the phone.
That would save me a lot of time.
Oh, no, I don't want more monitoring. We should be trusted to do our shows and be professional without Angela listening in 24/7. You'd certainly be worried, Portia.
Why? I've nothing to hide.
Oh, please. All you're missing is a paper bag over your head.
What's your problem? No, don't answer that.
Well, at least I'm coordinated today, unlike you. How did you actually feel up to leaving the house dressed like that? Even my underwear matches my hair colour.
Peroxide blonde underwear. Where did you get that?
Stop. 1 more word out of either of you and you'll be asked to leave. I cannot take this much more. You 2 are the bane of my life. You really are.
Returning to my point, I'm sorry, John, I really think the committee should consider this seriously.
Oh, very well.
I have a question for you, Angela.
Do you?
Why is that yobbo Charlie worth 15,000 a year to the radio station?
Call me Yobbo again, bitch, and I'll...
Thank you, Charlie. Charlie has been talent spotted by a big commercial radio station. They like what he does, but don't have a vacancy for him for another year. So to make sure he keeps sharp, he made a deal that if we keep him here as a presenter, his future radio station will give us an annual payment.
See? You can go on about how fabulous you are, but you ain't being headhunted, are you?
You think you can do whatever you like and the station management will just roll over and let you tickle their tummies, don't you?
Yeah, because I can.
I think we need to move things along.
Yes, agreed. I want to get this annual bitch fest over with and get myself over to A&E to get my arm looked at. Oh, the pain's spreading. Ah! It's in my hand now. Every time I do this.
In what circumstances would you do that? It's a very abnormal hand posture.
What do you know about it?
Nothing, I suppose. Well, my report is now concluded unless anyone has any further questions. I hope not, because I need to get home to make sure my wet blanket husband is keeping our delinquent son under control. No questions. Good.
Thank you, Angela. Next we go to Sarah, our secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Membership is good at 24. Subscriptions have not risen for the last 2 years, and generally members pay on time. 1 or 2 members regularly do not, however. So to them I say that I must receive them on time, and if I don't receive them this year by June the 1st, these members will not be allowed to broadcast until they've paid. I can also confirm that no nominations were received by the due date for committee positions.
Thank you. Any questions for Sarah?
Do I have to pay the full amount in June?
If you get your own show and you're no longer classed as a trainee, you will, I'm afraid, yes.
Surely I don't have to pay subs, given what a goddess I am.
Well, I didn't want to name names, but you are one of the regular offenders, and so is Portia.
Oh, yes, tell the world.
20 people.
You know what I mean.
Yes, Jocelyn, you do have to pay subs.
I shouldn't even be doing the children's requests. I'm not some second-rate kids presenter. I shouldn't be doing request shows at all.
Well, that's between you and Angela, but if you don't pay your subs on time, I will tell Angela not to let you broadcast until you do.
I am a volunteer. What's she going to do if I disobey her? Sack me?
Terminate your membership, yes.
She wouldn't dare.
Try me.
Well, you want to get yourself sponsored like me, and then you can do what you like.
Well, I could. People would be falling over themselves to pay the station to keep me as a star presenter.
Well, you better get sorted out then, ain't you?
Right, moving on.
Well, we ain't finished yet, eh? If you're so worried about your arm, go to A&E and I'll take the chair.
That is not the only reason I'm asking for things to be moved on.
That's right. You have to be on home in time, don't you, for Antique Roadshow, eh?
Very funny.
Well, having made my views known to Jocelyn regarding subs, I think I have nothing further to add.
I wrote my obituary this morning.
Why?
I needed cheering up.
You wrote your own obituary to cheer yourself up. That's bizarre enough, but worse is why you're telling us this.
Sorry, it just came to mind. It does when I despair, and I wrote it because I could imagine all the nice things people would say about me once I'd gone.
Right, look, I'm sure that your arm symptoms are not life-threatening. You probably just slept on it or something.
How can I sleep when I'm racked with illness?
Can we move on?
Sorry, my mind's on my health today.
Yeah, same old, same old. When isn't it?
Peter, your treasurer's report, please.
Thank you. Sorry.
He always waits till it's quiet when it's most likely to be heard.
Considering there's no breeze, it's amazing how the smell still carries.
Tell my body, not me. And for your information, you'll have to talk quieter than that. If you don't want me to hear you, I've got ears like a bat.
I've got ears like a bat.
And a butt like a walrus.
Yeah? Well, at least my nose didn't used to be a piece of my thigh.
Bitch.
I want to begin my report by saying that we, as a station, are not rich. Without the money Charlie brings in, we would be in the red.
Yeah, go me.
The Trust has had to reduce the amount it contributes, and if we are considering move to the internet, we need to keep money aside for that. And I recommended to the committee that subs be increased this year. I realise some of you are not the richest people, so the increase will be only slight. Currently, a 4-member broadcasting pays £55 a year. This will now be £60 a year. I also wanted to ask you to think about the merits of wider sponsorship. Persuade the companies to pay as an amount of money in return for being associated with a show, on which they would get a mention. Good advertising, quite an incentive. Money in the kitty.
I think we should all try and get a sponsor, and the person who gets the most money out of them doesn't have to pay subs for the following year. That's an incentive.
Yes, and you've got more money than the rest of us put together, and we pay our subs. I bring in £15,000 a year, and I still pay subs. Actually, how's that fair?
Yes, well, we'll talk about that another time.
Well, if he's let off paying subs, I'm not paying mine.
Nobody's going to be let off paying subs. But you don't bankroll the radio station he does.
No, he doesn't. Indie FM bankrolls our radio station.
Because Charlie's on the team.
The world's gone mad. I should be in that position.
Yeah, well, maybe the world doesn't think as much as you do, posh nuts.
Don't call me that. You know it annoys me.
What, posh nuts?
Right, that's it. You're like 5-year-old children. I'm going for some fresh air.
Right, well, that was intense. Oh no, the arm pain's come back now. Oh, it's worse than ever. Look, we've done the reports and there's only one challenge to any of the positions. I move we re-elect everyone automatically, take a quick vote on who gets the PC's job and close the meeting.
Proposed. I'm fed up of sitting here while everyone whinges about their personal lives and prattles on about themselves.
That's rich. Anyway, I second that. Then I don't have to spend any longer in the same room as Miss Potnuts and her equally poor nemesis.
Nemesis?
Oh, you so are.
Right, Sarah, hand out the ballots. When you get your ballot, just write Jocelyn or Angela on it, fold it in half and hold it in the air for Sarah to collect.
Angela stormed off in a huff, so I should win by default.
She doesn't have to be here for the vote to take place, nor does she need to be here for the vote to be valid. Yes, that's right. Hold them in the air for Sarah.
That's all of them, Mr. Chairman. 20.
Right. Jocelyn, Angela, Jocelyn, Angela, don't care, Angela, Jocelyn, Angela. Right, 20 votes have been received from the membership. The committee members cannot vote under our constitution. The results are Jocelyn had 4 and Angela has 16. Accordingly, Angela continues as programme controller.
Abby,
Hey, Jocelyn.
did you vote for Angela or me?
Well, we're not supposed to say, are we?
You'd better have voted for me or I'll rip your throat out.
I did vote for you, I did. Honest.
Thank you, I won't forget that. My day will come, and when that day comes, those who have betrayed me will lose their shows and suffer like hell.
Well, OK.
You haven't been here long, but I'll tell you something. If you want to go places, you'd better make sure you suck up to me.
Yeah, I have to go now.
Meeting closed. I'm off to A&E while I can still walk. Sarah, lock up.
You won't hear the last of this, nor will those of you who didn't vote for me.
So sorry you didn't get your PC job, sweetie. I voted for you.
Drop dead. You wouldn't vote for me in a million years. And for the record, I wouldn't vote for you either.
Thank God for secret ballot.
Show me the slips.
What?
So I know there's been no cheating. You could have just been saying, Angela, Angela. I know you fancy her.
Preposterous. My wife is perfectly satisfactory. Anyway, Angela and I do not share political views, and she's anti-fox hunting for a start.
The slips are on the desk, Jocelyn, if you don't believe John's integrity.
Of course I don't. He was a Tory minister.
Bye. I'm off to Casualty.
Why does he bother being chairman?
I'll check those slips, and if there's been any funny business, there'll be all hell to pay.
You OK, Angela?
Oh, yes, sorry. It was very unprofessional of me to storm out like that. It's just things are so stressful. I can't help but let them interfere. Maybe I should resign as programme controller.
No, you can't do that. You beat Jocelyn's challenge 16-4. You're a brilliant programme controller, and you taught me so well. I'm nearly ready for my own show in just a few months.
Thank you, Abby. I wish everyone was like you. They're monsters, all of them. 1 in 4 people are meant to have a mental illness. By God, this lot screw the average. Charlie, Portia and Jocelyn are all full of themselves in different ways. John is a raving hypochondriac. I'm seriously stressed, but not neurotic. Peter farts all the time and usually lets them out slowly so he can blame them on creaking mic boom or chair. And Sarah, well, she's a liability.
Oh, you like your colleagues then?
Yeah. My son's got ADHD and my husband's useless, and I have more time with them than the rabble that make up the team.
Well, I don't quite know what I've walked into, but that was the shortest AGM I have ever known. And I guess if I keep myself to myself, I'll be okay.
Well, just be careful. Your willingness to be a good team member might be taken advantage of by less scrupulous colleagues. But I'll be watching over you. Like a daughter, I wish I had.
I voted for you. But Jocelyn threatened me and asked if I'd voted for her, so I said I did. But I really voted for you.
Well, I should really have a word.
No, please don't. You tell the teacher on a bully and it just gets worse.
OK, and anyway, she's all bile and venom, but there's no substance. She's just a thoroughly unpleasant character, but until she actually breaches a rule in our constitution, we can't really get rid of her. Anyway, I'll look after you.
Thank you. And I'm going to be the best presenter ever, and I won't let you down.
Fancy a coffee?
Why not?
Just don't tell the others.
Take a seat, but it's at least an hour's wait.
Would it help if I flashed my ID card today?
No. If you glance upwards, you'll see a sign.
Yes?
Does it say I give a toss?
I could be dying here. You realise that, don't you? I might have the plague. You might be the death of me. If you don't get me seen, I'll be going around telling all the other people waiting that I have a highly infectious, deadly disease, which I may well have for all your lot care.
I've just thought of something.
Yes?
What if any of the others come in for a coffee and see us talking?
They won't. Neither Portia nor Jocelyn would be seen in here because they have plastic tablecloths and no celebrities come in here.
Ah.
And the others wouldn't mind, but if they did, I'd just say we'd come out to talk about your own show.
I'm going to get my own show?
Yes, I think you're ready. You don't mind about the subs going to go up, do you?
Well, I've not finished uni yet, but I guess we all have to pay our share. I should graduate this year, then I just need a boyfriend. I'm sort of seeing this guy Jack, but I don't know if he wants to get serious.
Well, my son needs a girlfriend and I wouldn't force him on anyone. He's a nightmare. I had to ring home just to check he hadn't trashed the joint.
Had he?
No, he just put my husband's head through a plasterable petition and now he's had his internet access terminated for a month. So he'll be in a great mood when I get home. And just in case you didn't realise, that was sarcasm.
I'm sorry you're so stressed. I wish I could help.
Just by not being Portia, Jocelyn, Charlie or Ted, you're being more helpful than you know.
John Standing, how can I help you?
I woke up this morning with terrible leg pain.
Whereabouts?
On my leg. This thing from my privates to my ankle.
Yes, I know what a leg is. I learned that at med school. I mean, where on your leg?
All over. And now it's reached my hands now. I've got DVT, I know it.
Sounds like it could be a muscle spasm. I see from your substantial medical file that you present with some complaint almost weekly, either here or at your GP's.
Well, there's a lot of illness about, and watching over the hospital radio station is a very demanding job, and we all know stress can weaken your immune system.
What does your job entail, then?
Well, chairing meetings and trying to stop the trust closing the station down, really, and dealing with the staff at the station.
Well, if you like, I can make you a psychiatric referral, but there's quite a long waiting list.
I don't need a psychiatric referral. I demand a CAT scan, an MRI, full blood tests, urine tests, endoscopy, colonoscopy. I want an MOT with bells on.
I can't justify that expense on the basis of your medical history. I am sorry.
Oh, forget it. But I'm telling you now, if I wake up dead tomorrow morning, I'll be suing.
I'll risk it.
I don't know why I bother.
I didn't know you did.
Pleb.
I still think this was a waste of time. Why did we need a meeting so soon after the AGM?
It's the monthly meeting. The fact that it's close to the AGM is irrelevant. I want to mention something in any other business. Apart from the fact that the A&E receptionist was very rude to me, and the doctor was not helpful at all, said I slept on my leg, never explained my arm pain. I bet it's black liver fever. You've all got it now.
Anyway, this thing you want to mention is not about your health, is it?
Oh, no. Heaven forbid you should worry about my health, or lack of it. I did my urinalysis this morning. The strip showed everything was normal. Must have a 40-pack, because the last one did as well. I did my blood sugar, and that was fine. And I did my blood pressure, and that was a bit high.
But did you have high blood pressure?
That's what everyone says. But it could be masking some lethal virus, like Ebola or something.
There's no Ebola in central London, and the spot on your ear is not the plague, before you ask.
What spot on my ear?
Oh, no, you hadn't seen it, had you?
Wait, I have to look at it.
Good God, a pocket mirror?
It's not to check spots, OK? It's to do with my toupee. Whoops, I didn't mean to say that. That stays in this room, OK?
Unless there's a breeze and it blows out of the window.
I know what a gossip you are, Sarah. So if word gets out, I'll know who's responsible.
OK, well, I'll just blame Angela.
Thanks.
Anyway, I'm worried about this spot now, so we'd better get things wrapped up quickly so I can get to A&E.
All right, keep your hair on.
Sarah!
You wanted to raise something, John?
We have 38 members and only 20 were at the AGM, plus us. Why? That's what we have to ask. Why?
Maybe they were busy. Maybe they had other plans. Maybe they think AGMs are boring. Most are. Ours are different. I think 50% attendance at the AGM is the least of our problems, with the possibility of closure hanging over our heads and a handful of seriously messed up egocentric pains in the butt doing the shows. I think our problems are only just beginning.
Well, let's just hope you're wrong. Anyway, if there's nothing else, I close the meeting at 11:30 p.m.
Oh, yes. Remind us, why don't you? Even Brannigan's Hamlet was only 4 hours.
Well, we could start the meetings at 7 instead of 7:30. I'm sure my wife wouldn't mind.
No, the more time you give, the more you find to fill it.
Well, don't complain. You'll be in bed long before me.
Why?
Because I have to get back to A&E, and there's bound to be a wait even at this time.
Of course. Well, I'm off home. Night all. We'll catch up soon, I'm sure.
Yes, you get stiff sitting for so long, don't you? The thighs, you know, not getting any younger. Hang on, let me just stretch the old muscles. Old age, you see, creaky joints.
Airwaves by Robert Chantler. You've been listening to Robert Hardy as John, Joe Maynard as Angela, Heather Harrison as Portia, Sue Ford as Jocelyn, Rob Day as Charlie, Niamh Mallott as Abby, Danny Maynard as Peter, Joe Adams as Sarah, Robert Chantler as Ted, and Geoff Buckingham as Doctor Who. Airwaves was recorded by Martin Clark, edited by Marc, Bakos, and directed by Robert Chantler. This was a Free Theatre Company production.